It's Friday. It's been a busy week. But to start off with, to answer your question of the week, no, I've never had. Well, we never had an all-out fight between party members, but there was one time in which it was the first character I ever had that died. I had a knight who was angry at our archer, so I went chasing after him, and our gun mage decided to shoot me because that made sense. And he did max damage and a triple crit. So my character was super dead. But that's probably the closest thing I've ever had to party infighting like that. But so, as I mentioned before, this week was really busy. First off, the weather was weird. Like, this has been a really from my last video, when we were dealing with a bomb cyclone, it was freezing cold here. It's now quite a difference, because right now here in Western Mass, it is roughly 5:30 p.m. It is 60 degrees and raining, whereas last week at, the same time, it was like 2 degrees and snowing. So, first off, the weather is bipolar. But otherwise, this has been a pretty busy week, because I was in court both yesterday, like I usually am, and I was in court today too, which doesn't usually happen, all in the same week that classes started. So it was busy. My classes this semester are, I'm taking a bar prep. I have admin law. I'm going to do it because that hand is going to be bigger. But admin law, I have trusts and estates, so I can talk about dead people. I have UCC survey, so I'm going to basically learn the law on, I'm going to learn the law on basically sales and transactions, for lack of a better term. I also am taking a criminal procedure, so I'm going to learn about the criminal system. I'm on the trial team, and I work 16 hours at the CLA office each week, which is a lot. So it's a busy week. It's going to be a busy semester for one. But this week in particular was super busy because, yesterday in court was ridiculous because last Thursday, due to the bomb cyclone, the court was closed. Courts don't usually close, and when the courts close, it turns into a whole nother matter. And that's what happened here, is that the courts closed last week, so we had a double session this week. My supervising attorney wasn't in town, so we were without him. Now, we had two of the directors of Community Legal Aid there to help, but it made me realize how much Gordon does, and how somehow he's able to do all of it, and I don't know how he does it, and I am constantly amazed by what he can do. But we ended up getting really busy, and Derpy Cat. We have a couple drawers open right now, and Spaz decided to go hide in there. Say hi, Spaz! And he just got out, of course, but that's to be expected. But no, so I had, yesterday and today, I had two really tough negotiations. Yesterday was just a case that I've been working on for about 3 weeks, give or take, and I just realized I was cutting my head off a little bit there. But I've been working on it for about 3 weeks. One of my friends was actually representing the landlord. And this case had so many legal issues on it that it could be a video on its own. But there were issues with bankruptcy, illegal renting, and just all around terrible relationships between the landlord and the tenant. So myself and my friend, who I mentioned, a friend of mine who, I work with him every single Thursday, and him and I have most of our cases go against each other. Like, I've been doing housing for 2 years. The majority of my cases have been against this attorney that I'm mentioning. So him and I worked hours on this agreement. I mean hours. Like, this is also with working with a bunch of other clients. Like, on an average week, I have 2 to 3 clients. Yesterday, I had 5 or 6. So that was wild. But Richard and I, it's my friend, his name is Richard. We worked on this case for a week, and then we worked on it for another 3 hours yesterday in court. We finally got an agreement, but it was like pulling teeth. Him and I both knew exactly what we wanted, and him and I both wanted basically the same thing, but our clients did not want the same thing. So that was an adventure. We got it done, but that was an adventure. And then today I had a really difficult case. So one of the other attorneys named Dan actually asked me to help him today. And I, being me, said of course. Well, little did I know what was really going to happen. So he had one case that he worked on that was relatively simple. It just took some jiggery pokering. The one he gave me, now we didn't realize how rough it was going to be, but the one he gave me was ridiculous. Like I got to court at 9 this morning. I was working on that case until 12:30. One case for 3.5 hours, which is a lot. There were, again, just so many legal issues, so many broken agreements in the past that this was challenging. Eventually, it took myself, Dan, and the landlord's attorney all sitting in at one spot to get it together, but eventually we got it together, and we got an agreement that let my client keep her rental subsidy, but also got the landlord what he wanted by getting her out and getting his money. So it was, all in all, a pretty good result. It was a lot of work. So Tony, my question for you is, you start classes next week, right? Tell me how your first couple days went. Tony, I'll see you on Tuesday. Later, bro.